It wouldn't be a Nintendo list without Mario. Opening our 50th spot is none other than Nintendo's favorite party game. Superstar's fantastic selection of minigames offers hours and hours of enjoyment for you and 3 other friends. Kirby's renewed adventure brings in a familiar yet fresh experience. New and old fans will appreciate the improved visuals, fun 4-player co-op, and its additional story content. Solo or with friends, there are a lot of options for you to enjoy Kirby's Return to Dreamland. The HD remaster of the Wii Classic, this version makes good use of the Switch's Joy-Cons, making Link's journey in Skyloft less frustrating than the original. Hacking and slashing your way with Joy-Cons are more responsive than ever. Now you can literally throw hands as you save Princess Zelda. Crash's 8th major entry to the series takes him and his sister Coco on a multiversal journey to stop Dr. Cortex again. It's About Time received a lot of praise for preserving the challenge and level designs of the original games. Since this was a newer Crash adventure, it gave a refreshingly familiar experience with the game's unique spin on its story and characters.
May my powers be enough to make you see the light.
The tactics genre has found its niche on the Nintendo Switch. Square Enix's latest foray into strategy JRPGs draws us into a brave new world. What sets Triangle Strategy apart from others is its non-linear story with emphasis on branching paths and player choice. The first main Pokémon game for the Nintendo Switch and our introduction to the 8th gen. The Galar region is a massive place full of wonder and dangers, but with Sword and Shield's Dynamax and Gigantamax features, you won't have to worry about anything. The Switch wasn't just for collecting Pokémon. In Ring Fit Adventure, players who want to burn calories are welcome to try its experimental way of exercising. It's a creative way of blending the dopamine rush of gaming with real-life sweating. A Ring-Con is a unique controller that does its job surprisingly well. When it comes to fighting games on the Switch, there aren't a lot of choices. FighterZ is one of the closest things Switch players have to a competitive and fun fighting game experience. While fighting games are usually the domain of high-end PCs and consoles, the Switch has no problems running FighterZ's frenetic and action-packed visuals. Game Freak's first open-world Pokémon game, and it was something to behold. Sure, it wasn't as visually appealing as the new Zelda game, but it was an ambitious leap for the franchise. Arceus' untamed wilderness teeming with Pokémon calls on avid explorers and Pokémon trainers alike.
Don't worry, I know this song by heart.
Cerez's character action trilogy culminated in this impressive entry. It's the most action-packed Bayonetta game to date, all thanks to its seamless hack-and-slash combat. The game's unrelenting, especially once Bayonetta whips out her hair and guns. Ni no Kuni's gorgeous isekai adventure showed us how it feels to play a Studio Ghibli game. From its iconic animation to Joe Hisaishi's enchanting music, The Wrath of the White Witch is a JRPG that exudes magic and wonder. The sequel to Dragon Quest Sandbox spin-off surprised many, and it was a major improvement from the first game with more things to do and places to explore. With the addition of a 4-player co-op, you can invite your friends and make your own adventure within Dragon Quest's fantastical world.
They've declared a state of emergency.
NieR, move out.
Roger.
Before Bayonetta 3, Astral Chain was the blueprint for Platinum Games taking their Switch exclusives to the next level. Whether you're exploring its futuristic city or tearing down enemies using your Legion, the game's level of optimization leaves no worries for performance issues. A collection of all 3 Super Mario 3D games packed into one cartridge, it's a great way for new players to get to know the previous 3D games before they hop into Odyssey. But if you just want to revisit for the sake of nostalgia, there's no major change for all 3 titles, except for the quality of life updates for its controls. Believe it or not, this is the only Final Fantasy game on this list. The Zodiac Age is one of the series' strongest entries, and it still holds up to this day. Because of that, they reworked the original's combat, making it more accessible and less frustrating compared to the 2006 version. As a result, it's the definitive way to enjoy the story of Vaughn and his friends.
You took my father's life. Why spare mine now?
It's time to show you just how to really play!
This is the sequel that fans have been dying to play after 14 years. The World Ends With You moves away from the original's 2D design to a vibrant 3D. This gave way to enhanced combat that doesn't rely on the classic touch controls. That means the Shibuya scrambles are faster and more stylish than it was in 2007. 8 characters, 8 different stories. That's all you need to know when it comes to Octopath Traveler. If you enjoy traditional turn-based JRPGs, this is a game to put on the must-play list. This love letter to turn-based games heralds a bright future for the genre thanks to a stellar art style and well-written story. This Nintendo Wii classic makes its debut on the Nintendo Switch. Donkey Kong's renewed vigor in this enhanced port welcomes new and old fans of the series. Aside from its notable visual upgrades, Funky Mode is a welcome addition that brings something fresh to newcomers who want a more casual experience. Arguably one of the best brawlers out there, Streets of Rage 4 is a return to form from their classic side-scrolling adventures. Much like the old-school titles, it's even more fun to play this with friends. Take back the streets with up to 4 players in local co-op, or go online with up to 2 players. Perfect for some casual co-op fun. Splatoon remains one of Nintendo's best shooters, and to this day, it's still getting seasonal updates and DLCs. You can compete with Japanese players in PvP or mess up with your teammates in Salmon Run. Splatoon 3's numerous game modes guarantee hours of gameplay. The definitive way to enjoy Shulk's first adventure. It's the perfect starting point for players who want to get on the Xenoblade train. It has improved graphics, music, and gameplay. This fascinating science fiction world is oozing with a bizarre atmosphere that only exists in this universe.
I didn't know you could do that.
Excellent! I was waiting for this moment.
A visual novel power pack that includes all 3 major Danganronpa titles, including its board game spin-off. It's a complete package of Monokuma's twisted games made for your viewing pleasure. It's a guaranteed 100+ hours of class trials, high school drama, and a whole lot of crime. The second chapter of Ubisoft and Nintendo's collaboration. The turn-based strategy gameplay in a Mario title is a breath of fresh air from jumping over Koopas and Goombas. In the sequel, Sparks of Hope is a much bigger experience with its strong focus on its story, characters, and exploration. A 1996 classic revitalized for newer players. Inspired by the many RPGs that came before it, this version of Mario has to wait its turn before making his moves. Like classic 90s RPGs, Super Mario RPG's world is rife with personality and humor. Like Sparks of Hope, this remake is a nice change of pace from Mario's usual platforming. A science fiction playground for players who just want to explore space and meet aliens. No Man's Sky on the Switch is a technical marvel. Despite the lack of multiplayer, it's still impressive to see how this game runs smoothly on old-gen hardware. It's not perfect, but it's enough to take us to the far reaches of the galaxies.
人よ、神となれ。
The latest Shin Megami Tensei isn't trying to be as anime as its Persona counterpart. It continues to embrace its grim atmosphere with a dark story and compelling characters. Perhaps the game's biggest change is the quality of life. There's still enough challenge when you're dungeon crawling, but its gameplay is more intuitive and less frustrating. The past few years have been good for Ninja Turtles fans. Shredder's Revenge is just one of the many resurgence of our favorite turtles. The usual gang and a few playable characters, including April, are all coded into a retro art style. It supports up to 6 players in multiplayer, online, or local. Whether with friends or with strangers, taking down Shredder's goons is an enjoyable experience. Kirby's latest adventure takes our favorite pink alien to a dystopian Earth. You could say that it was Nintendo's version of The Last of Us, but with Kirby doing the chomping and eating. The Forgotten Land's attention to detail makes exploration worthwhile, and to top it all off, Kirby's voracious new powers add more variety to its many challenges. The second Mario brother has his own stories to tell too. Luigi's Mansion 3 takes the spooks and puzzles to new heights. You can play solo or with friends, but you don't have to worry about the jump scares. It's a lighthearted third installment that doesn't detract from the fun of its ghost-busting story.
Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection!
Phoenix Wright's 19th century ancestor takes the bar in this prequel story to Capcom's successful visual novel franchise. Together with Sherlock Holmes, they shake the foundations of London's corrupted legal system with the power of objections and deductions. With its 10 major cases, you're guaranteed hours and hours of well-written whodunits that leave you bawling once the credits roll. A remake of its 1993 Game Boy hit, this is Link's most vibrant adventure despite its dark undertones. If you dive deep into its lore, there's a whole lot of strangeness in every corner. This remake preserves its surreal experiences, adding a diorama-like world filled with familiar adventures to do and challenging puzzles to solve. Considered as the most accessible Monster Hunter game ever, Rise is a great game for first-time Monster Hunter players. It may still be intimidating for the uninitiated, but many of its features are made easier to understand. From monsters and weapons to its build crafting, with the addition of the wire bug, the gameplay is more fluid, giving you more control of your hunter. If you want more, its massive expansion, Sunbreak, adds a whole lot of new endgame content for you to grind, even difficult monsters. The niche Pikmin community has found its new obsession. Nintendo's version of a kid-friendly strategy game is made even better with its wealth of new content. This includes new Pikmin types and a selection of challenging levels that demand a lot of careful thinking. Not only that, its post-game content will test your Pikmin knowledge. A treasure trove of creative levels awaits in Super Mario Maker 2. The sequel is made for people who just want to make their own Mario levels. The addition of new tools opens limitless possibilities for your dream Mario levels. It can go from imaginative set pieces to ridiculous torture chambers. Either way, there's enough content to check every day. The best Fire Emblem game for the Nintendo Switch, Three Houses, is a celebration of what makes this series great. It's packed with a mature story, memorable characters, and smart tactical gameplay. This healthy balance results in a casual JRPG that's open for first-time players. Who knows? Maybe this could be their gateway to the series. 2B and 9S's story has come a long way. This is a Nintendo Switch port to one of the best action games of 2017. It contains all the major DLCs, adding more flavor to its existential themes. This is for players who haven't tried the game yet. Fair warning though, there's a lot to unpack here, so best go in blind. Save the world of YoRHa and explore this magical world full of monsters to slay and secrets to discover. 11S exceeds in its presentation, letting us live the ultimate JRPG fantasy. It's a fantastic hero's journey with a cast of memorable characters. The latest side-scrolling Metroid Dread is a confident entry into the series' future. It knows what makes the series great and adds a sprinkle of new mechanics to surprise longtime fans. Samus' expedition on this uncharted planet feels familiar until you get chased by relentless robots waiting to tear you apart. A definitive version of Super Mario 3D World. It's a theme park-like adventure with more content added to the already packed Wii U original. Bowser's Fury adds a hefty number of new levels for anyone looking for a challenge. Expect more hours to sink your teeth into.
We have to fight so we can go on living.
A grand adventure with over 100 hours of content, its fresh cast of characters offers their own insights into the sprawling open world, making the journey more than just going from point A to point B. It ties up all those loose ends from the previous entries, making more context to its convoluted universe. Nintendo's premier fighting game has already reached its end after adding Kingdom Hearts Sora into the mix, but even with its curtains closed, there's still a lot to enjoy in Sakurai's treasure trove of character crossovers. You can play with friends or compete in the big leagues. An enhanced Mario Kart 8 experience for the Switch, Deluxe takes all the best things from the original and adds new twists and turns to their inventive racetracks. New courses are available if you purchase the Season Pass. You can also get them all for free if you have the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass. The latest Super Mario Bros. Game lives up to its name. It's a kaleidoscopic trip into Mario's side-scrolling adventure. Even if you're a series veteran, Wonder's new mechanics inject surprises that subvert your expectations in the most creative ways. Therapy in video game form, New Horizons' wholesome vibe is the perfect game to de-stress yourself. The simple joy of talking to your anthropomorphic neighbors makes for a feel-good experience. Couple it with endless island customizations and you're compelled to make a little sanctuary for your animal friends. Its Happy Home DLC adds more variety to its customization, bringing in new tools and more reasons to jump back into its worry-free world. The sequel to Moon Studios' emotional Metroidvania. If you think the first game was sad, this one takes it to another level. The Will-O'-the-Wisp makes the platforming adventure even better with Ori's new movement abilities. This provides seamless options to traverse and take down enemies in its beautiful world.
Yes, carry on everyone, don't mind me.
We're down to our top 5, starting with Hades. Supergiant's Lightning in a Bottle is a phenomenal roguelike about Greek gods with real family issues. With its endless design, it's a game that never runs out of juice. There's always something to do after every death, like uncovering secrets, beating your record, or talking to people with its light dating sim elements. It's a content-rich game and we can't wait for what's to come with its sequel.
Death approaches.
easily one of Nintendo's best works. It was the right call to preserve and introduce it to newer audiences. This remastered version is brimming with impressive visual details that couldn't be possible on the original. Every level oozes with atmosphere, yet the challenge remains the same. With its success, here's hoping we get all Metroid Prime games remastered too.
Wake up, Link.
Link's first steps into an open-world territory was an unforgettable moment for video games. There's always something to do in every corner, whether it's finding a Korok seed or a challenging dungeon. Breath of the Wild influenced a whole generation of games due to its smart open-world design. The best Mario game on the Switch. Even with all the Mario games out there, Odyssey manages to introduce fresh concepts despite the series' long-running traditions. New Donk City is a haven of enjoyment, and it's made even better with your friend Cappy. Together, Odyssey takes you on a grand adventure that always brings something new to do. What a time to be alive for a Legend of Zelda fan. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are two giants that just couldn't exist without the other. This sequel improves on almost everything the original has, with more stuff to do and toys to play with. Link's daunting quest to save Princess Zelda is made even better with the new tools we're given. Conquering the skies, the land, and the abyss are merely obstacles waiting for ingenious solutions. Tears of the Kingdom is truly one of the games of all time, and we can't wait to see what lies ahead in the series' future.